Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Patty. I go by Pattymac Makes everywhere online. In today's video, I wanted to share a closer look at something I received as Happy Mail about a week ago. A couple of videos back, I shared a very special unboxing with you. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description below. I'd love if you went and watched that as well. But in that video, I was sent a special delivery from our beautiful friends at Missouri Star Quilt Company. I was able to select a few items that I really wanted to try out and then share with you here. I had somebody in the comments sort of complain a little bit that I didn't show things clearly enough. They wanted more detail, and I can kind of see that. The issue is that when you get a box with several different things in it, if you tease everything out in one video, you wind up with an hour-long video, and it's too long. Nobody has time to sit there and watch me ramble on for an hour about fabric. So my thought process was to kind of give you an overview of what came in, and then in today's video, let's take a closer look at one of those items. And that item is a very special, new product line that Missouri Star has released. Before we get too deep in the woods on this, let me say I am an affiliate with Missouri Star, and for this month of March 2024, if you use my link, which I will put in the description below, if you use that link and you make a purchase of $50 or more from Missouri Star, you're gonna get an automatic 20% off. That's pretty fantastic. We don't often get such great opportunities at sale prices in our favorite quilt stores, so don't let this one pass you by. And additionally, I would like to say a huge thank you to all of the people who have been using that link. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that helps. So anyway, let me show you something else to tempt your pocketbook. This is the product that we're going to talk about today. And as I said, it is a new product line offering from Missouri Star. And it is their Stitch by Stitch Beginner's Embroidery Kit. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Pretty much everything else that they do at Missouri Star, top notch. I mean, this thing is high quality. So let me give you the details on it. I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess it up. Okay, so the regular price for the kit is $38. Right now it's on sale for $34.95 at the time of filming this video. I don't know what it'll be if you see this at some time in the future, but right now, $34.95. This is a brand new kit. It already has 63 5-star reviews. People on the internet these days are brutal. I mean, brutal. So for anything to receive, one, that many reviews, two, all of them be 5-star, that's unheard of. So that tells you how beautiful this particular kit is. It's a heavy-duty canvas. It's well constructed. So this is the front, and this is the back. You can see it's got handles, so you can carry it. So they market it as being a kit, but let me tell you, this is the perfect project bag for embroidery. When I started out in the crafting world, I started with knitting. And, one of the big things with knitting is project bags. And if you knit or crochet, then you've either purchased project bags, which I purchased some before I started sewing, and then once you start sewing, you make all your own bags. The issue is, and I had this personally affect me because I was doing embroidery, it was really hard to do it as a take-along project because the hoops just didn't fit well in those rectangular project bags. With this, you have a beautiful project bag. So if you've got to go sit around and wait on your car to get serviced, you can take your embroidery project now and completely enjoy yourself. You get into this particular project bag by zipping on both sides. And then it has another front pocket, also a zip. So, yeah, it's gorgeous. And then what I like is they used their special fabric, their Missouri, I think it's called Quilt Town. I'll look up and get the right wording for you. It's so cute. I'm going to zoom in so you can really see what's on there. If you look very carefully, you will find, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo thing, but embedded in the print with all the flowers are little itty bitty Chuck the Duck. Just little teeny. So if you watch the tutorials, obviously everybody watches their tutorials. You'll hear that whack, right, when they, like, at certain points in the video, just whack. That's Chuck. And here he is. This is the one that came in that box I unboxed for you. They call him a flat Chuck, and he is in the style of embroidery. So that tells you they're going all in on the embroidery. I'm here for it. I love embroidery. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to flip the camera. I'm going to put you over here onto the work table. I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out of that bag so that you can see it. We'll talk about what's in there. And then I'm going to have some of my previous projects that I have done that are different sizes. And I want you to see how nicely they will fit into the bag. Okay, so without any further ado, let's take a look at what's inside of the Stitch by Stitch embroidery kit. Okay, here we are, and we're just looking at the kit from overhead. And let's go ahead, well, let me show you the zipper in the front again. It's a nice lined pocket. And then we'll open it up. And this is nice. So it has these little gussets on the side to hold everything together, but you can really get in there. And you can see they've included a lot of stuff. We'll do this side first. In fact, let's just get everything out. Why don't we do that? And you can really see what's in here, because it's a lot. Okay. Oh, there's more. Oh my gosh. Okay, so inside there's two of these side pockets, and then here you have another zippered pouch. And oh my gosh, I mean, this really is like everything you need if you've never done embroidery. Oh, how cute. I didn't even know that was in there. Okay, they have absolutely everything. We'll get rid of that packet. There's the inside. Easy to clean. Very beautiful. All right, let me lay everything out. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the tag that was on attached to the bag, and we're just going to go through it. And I'm going to kind of go through the list of what's in here, and then we'll just kind of show you all of the items that are in. So we'll just go right from their list. First thing that you're going to notice is you get a full color instruction book, and in this book they're going to teach you 11 of the most widely used stitches, and they're going to include 9 different designs that you can play with. So this is a very nice book. They're going to give you like all of the beginner information, the terminology, and so on. This is the project that is included in terms of having a printed fabric for you to sew on. This is what's in here. And this is really cool because they'll give you the name of whatever the stitch is. They're going to give you the instructions on how to do it, and then you can just do it all here. It's basically a sampler. And so Natalie has kind of headed up the embroidery side of things, and she has videos. I don't know if they're all up or not, but I think they are on how to do the stitches. So Natalie has you covered there. But it is nice to have the diagrams you know, the printed diagram to go with the video. I know I like to have a little of both. So all of those are in here. Here's your at a glance. This is a nice book. I'm not going to spend 10 hours on the book. So here's what we're going to do. They've got the stitching projects here in the back, and these are some of them. There's your bee. Basically what you do in embroidery is you're going to get like a printed picture, and then you are going to transfer this design onto the material of your choice, of your choosing, whatever you're working on. And that's what this pencil is for. So you're going to basically trace. And the way I do it is I use painter's tape because it removes easy. And I will like tape it on the window and then put the fabric over top, and the light will shine through, and then you can trace out your design. So you can use this little, I guess it's like a chalk type of a pencil, or you can use a disappearing, what I call a disappearing ink pen, which is what I have usually used, but those do fade when you have humidity, which I have here. This is really pretty. So you have a butterfly. The floral I love, of course. I love anything floral. It's a beautiful mandala. Oh, I love the owl. As a beginner project, this would probably be your easiest because it's just all straight lines for the most part. Some curves, but it's not super difficult. This one, maybe start with this one. These are cute, how they give you quilt blocks to stitch. Anyway, and then here are, so they have you trace, I guess, from here in the back. These would be a lot easier to see, obviously. And then they give you the colors and stuff that you want to use. But you can use any colors you want. So there's your book. Very nice. The next thing you have is a pre-printed sampler fabric square for practicing each new stitch. And that is what this is. So let's open this up. You'll want to iron it, obviously, at first. Oh, this is very nice fabric. Oh my goodness. You know, Missouri Star, they are a class act. But there's your... So when you buy kits, they're expensive. Let me just tell you right now. It's not cheap. But oftentimes when you purchase a kit, like 9 times out of 10, they're going to come printed with the design on it. And that will make your life a lot easier. So you don't have to trace anything or do any of that. It's already printed for you. So here's your design. Like I would press that out first, but essentially what you're going to do is you use this piece at the top of your hoop and you loosen it up. And then to hoop up, you're going to get this in here. And I chose the larger hoop, the 8-inch, because the 6-inch hoop is small. I'm just going to tell you. Let's see. And typically, I'll also tell you, when you're doing embroidery, you're going to have a different hoop that you stitch on than what you present your work. Like usually, you'll present your work in this style of hoop, but when you do the actual work, you're going to use a different hoop that will hold the fabric a little more taut. But you know, when you're done and you're ready to display your work, then you would want to, you know, use this standard little bamboo hoop. But that's what it's going to look like when you start stitching. Let's see what they have here. I kind of jumped ahead on you with the hooping. Oh, let's see, we have one pre-printed sampler flat fabric square, that's this. 3 sheets of peel and stitch wash away stabilizer. Oh, maybe that's what this is? I have not used that. Oh yeah, that's what this is. Okay. Oh, see, I'm learning as I'm opening this up with you here. Okay, so they have actually given us the designs pre-printed on this. So this is what they're calling a stabilizer. And when you go to use these, what you're going to do is to place this over a piece of solid fabric, and you're going to use this as your stitching design. So rather than tracing everything, they've given you the designs already. I don't know if you iron that on. I'll have to read up on how to actually do this. I've never done the peel and stick like this. I have personally only either had something pre-printed like this or traced it myself. 2 pre-printed and 1 is blank. Okay, so they've given us these pre-prints, and then here's your blank. So you can trace whatever you want to do onto that. Okay. 1 white 16 by 28 fabric tea towel. Oh, that's nice. So that's what this is. So here's your tea towel. So if you want to do an embroidered tea towel design, here you go. They've included that for you. So I guess that lets you do the sampler project in the hoop, and then also like a stitched tea towel. Okay, here is your bamboo 7-inch embroidery hoop. And then they're going to give us 8 full skeins of DMC floss. And so if you haven't done hand stitching before, they call these little skeins floss, embroidery floss. People use them also in cross stitch. I'll pull it out so you can see it. And this is what they look like. And they're like 6 little strands in here. And depending on how thick you want your design, you're going to use that many strands. So like you might tease out and just use 2, or you might use 3. Some designs you might use the whole full 6 strands. Like I'm sure when we do this wagon wheel rose, that's going to be the whole 6 strands. Otherwise you'll be here for 3 days trying to fill out the rows. And when you make these, you'll see what I mean. But they're so beautiful. They use so much floss, but they're quite stunning when they're done. So we're getting 8 skeins of the floss. What are we getting? We're getting 2 needles and a needle threader. So that's what this is. We're going to get a needle minder, which is what this is. So when you're at a stopping point with your work, like I used the example earlier of sitting there waiting on your car to get serviced. So, you know, you're at a point where they call you, your car is ready, you're going to put your project away. Well, you don't want to have a needle hanging around. And if you just kind of stick it randomly, you can wind up with a little hole. Now, there are techniques for getting rid of needle holes, but you don't want to make any more work for yourself than necessary. So what you do is you take these little needle minders, and it's got a magnet on the back, and you're going to just put it in an unobtrusive place on your work, okay? And then what'll happen is, let me just get, okay, so they're like, oh, Miss McGuire, your car is ready. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. And then I just take my needle and it sticks. And so now, you know, it would be a threaded needle, obviously, but it'll stay there and it's out of the way. And then you just tuck everything into your project bag and you zip it up and boom, you're ready to go get your car or whatever it is you're doing. But yeah, that's what those are for. What else do we have in here? 1 pair of scissors. The little scissors are nice. Floss bobbins. So what you do with these is you are supposed to remove the paper, and then you wind onto the bobbin, and then you use like a Sharpie and write on there what it is. So this is DMC, let's find what it is. So this is number 210. And that tells you your color. And then if you look on this one, see this one is $7.26. So that's how you determine if you're using, you know, the right colors, if you want to like get an exact design. And anyway, then you have a little hole in the bobbin, and you can thread them onto something and then hang them. And it is a neater way of keeping your stuff. My personal embroidery supply kit looks like a hot mess. So I do need to take some time and clean that up. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. And then we have the water-soluble pencil. So with the water-soluble pencil used in conjunction with the stabilizer, what you'll do is when you've done your design and you're done stitching, you're supposed to put it under water and just rinse it gently, and then all of this will disappear in the pencil. That kind of makes me nervous. So that's why I've used the what do you call it? The disappearing ink pen is what I call it. But you know, this is what they've included in the kit. Learn as you go with our Stitch by Stitch Embroidery 101 instructional videos. And they have them both on the website and on YouTube. So they're pretty easy to find. So that's the kit. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Let me show you just how some different sizes of projects will fit into this little kit. I started getting into embroidery a few years back, and I will tell you that I used a Craftsy class, and it's taught by Pattymac, and it's the Startup Library. That class is fantastic. If you don't have the Craftsy membership, and honestly, I'm letting mine go this year, but I already own that class, so I can go back to it anytime. I would say buy it as a standalone class because it's very, very good. And she has tons of projects and patterns in there, and really well done course. It's the old Craftsy, so it's pre-blueprint. It's really good. It's worth the investment if you think you want to sew. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So anyway, this is following the Pattymac course, is how I made all of these things. And sorry about that. My camera dropped its connection to my phone, which I use my phone as my like remote viewer so I can see what I'm doing. Here it is. Otherwise, I don't know what's on camera if I'm in focus, you know, these things. Anyway, it's a little annoying. It does it like every video. Every time I film, it's a lot. But anyhow, this was a sampler I made using that Pattymac course. And it's just simple stuff. Running stitch, back stitch, star stitch, French knots, all of that. And this is like a 4-inch hoop. And there's the finishing on the back. And, you know, so this little teeny thing, you know, it goes right in. There you go. Another project I did was this little pillow. These are really fun to do. So you can stitch, and this was just like a design that I made up. This was kind of from the course, and then I just like, you know, freewheeled on the outer stuff, and I did these little flowers. Anyway, I decided to make it into a little pillow, and I just took a really fun print, and then I made little contrast tassels, and there you have it. And it's hand stitched over here, and it's just polyfill. Now obviously this was in a hoop, so you're going to hoop up, you're going to do your work, and then you're going to trim it back into the shape that you need to make your pillow. You're going to be very careful pressing that because you don't want to mess up your stitches. But little bitty pillows like this, I just think they're so cute. Let's see. Okay, now this one, let me show you this one. So this was a pattern that I found, or I purchased it. I don't remember which, but I love a good narwhal. They're just the coolest thing. It's like I remember a movie from the 70s when I was a kid. I don't know what the movie is now, but it was an old Disney movie. Jodie Foster may have been in it. I think, I don't know. Anyhow, they talked about narwhals, and this was just so cute. I had to make it, and I put it into this oblong shape of a hoop, and it is about 9 inches, 9.5 inches across. And if I was working on this as a go project, it goes right in. So I could easily carry a project like that with me as a project on the go. Here's one I did. This was a purchased pattern. Oh my Lord, I don't remember if I traced the dogs. I think the dogs were printed. Isn't that cute? This is from a British designer. And what I do a lot of times when I'm stitching is I'll use like an inexpensive muslin, and then I will use another fabric as like a stabilizer fabric, and it just gives you a little more body. I don't remember exactly what I used. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I made this, but I just thought it was adorable. Actually, a viewer sent this to me as a gift years ago. It was a kit, and I finally wound up making it, and I love it so much. And I think I have another one from this designer. I think it's cats, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But this is a 6-inch hoop, and I mean, goodness, room to spare. And this was a larger project. I believe this is an 8-inch hoop. It might be 9. I think it's an 8. This was a pretty complicated pattern. It took me a while to do it, but oh, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. And you can see there's like a second fabric that I used as stabilizer. I don't know what I used. I think I used like another muslin underneath of this. So I like texture on my stitched panels. Just think it adds to the overall look of the project. And this was a purchased pattern. I found this, I want to say, through an Etsy store. And again, it slips right in. So if I was working on a larger project like that, goes right in. So you do have, quite a bit of latitude with what will fit into that as a project bag later on. And the last one I'll show you is this one. This is my own design. I got into this so much, I was like, well, I should just like stitch up some of my own stuff, and I still sort of have that in the back of my mind, but I have more ideas than I do hours in the day, unfortunately. If I didn't need to sleep or eat or do anything else other than work, I might be able to catch up, but anyhow. So this project, I love this project, and this is a smaller hoop. I think this is maybe a 5-inch hoop. This is what I was talking about with those wagon wheel roses. I'm going to move that in. They're stunning. I mean, they're just, it's a showstopper. But it uses a lot of floss. Let me just tell you, a lot of floss to make one of these. But they're gorgeous. And then this is like that fern stitch. These are all fern stitch. This is like a heavier, I want to say that's a stem stitch. And then this is a back stitch. And then these are French knots. And then there's your satin stitch and smaller French knots. So, you can look at the French knot here and the French knot here. And obviously I used a lot more floss when I made these as opposed to when I made these. Isn't that pretty? I love that project so much. I had all these displayed and hanging, and then when the water damage happened, they were in the room that got all that heat treatment. And when I realized what they were doing with the heat, I got everything down. And I put everything into Ziploc bags to protect them. And that's where they've been for, 3-4 months now. And this is the last one I'm going to show you because it's just so darn cute. So for this one, what I wound up doing was, and this was a pattern I bought. I cut felt. This is all felt. And, you know, he's in layers, so that makes him dimensional. And what I did was blanket stitch all of the pieces together onto the fabric. And this is a linen. So maybe that's what I was doing. I was stitching, that's what I was doing. I was stitching on linen because I like the texture of the linen. And then I do like a cheap muslin for a stabilizer. But for this, because he was so heavy duty, I just did him right to the linen. And so that's all blanket stitch. It's a little back stitching to get his eyes. The nose is also felt. And then just French knots for the stars. Isn't he gorgeous? Oh, I love him so much. I don't remember where I got this, but I made it one Christmas, and so I have the little candy stripe hanger. Okay, so that's what you got. But before you get to any of that sort of thing, you're going to want to start here. Okay, sorry, I had to change the lighting. The sun is going in and out of the clouds, so it makes it a little bit of a challenge. But anyway, before you do anything as complicated as like the dogs, you want to start here because these are your foundation stitches. And honestly, when you learn to do these, you can do all of these projects. So, you know, this has everything. It's got back stitch. It's got some, I don't think it has any running stitch. It does have this fly stitch, which is what this is. The French knots, the stars. This is all back stitch. You can do a lot with back stitching. You'd be surprised. So yeah, this is where you're going to start. And for me, I have not embroidered anything in, oh gosh, like a couple of years now, which is kind of crazy, but at least 2 years since I've stitched anything. So I'm ready to get back to it. And this is a great way for me to refresh my skills as well. So I would say that this Missouri Star project kit is a huge win. Let me show you one more thing before we call it a day on this. The needle minders, like this one that came in the kit, these are like a really fun added notion that you can get. And this is one that I picked up, and this I got in that recent unboxing. And it's a little bit larger. The larger ones are going to hold onto your needle a little bit better, just because there's more space. Just take them off the card. So you can see it's just magnets. Isn't that cute? So, you know, it's just a really cute little notion. Just one more little fun thing that you can buy and collect, right? Just what we all need. But anyway, this little dog, oh my goodness, it's so cute. I just loved him. I had to have him. And he's from Hawthorne, and it says he's handmade. And this is made in Great Britain, so I like that. I noticed that a couple of the things that I bought, that I selected when I did that Missouri Star unboxing were English products. I love English stuff, you guys. Super into it. Like my favorite band of all time. Well, I have two. They're well, two, and then one is like an alternate. So first of all, Beatles. Okay, Beatles. Nextly, Pink Floyd. Okay, I love the Floyd. I have seen Pink Floyd in person, and I've seen Ringo Starr. That's the only Beatle I've seen. But Pink Floyd I got to see without Roger Waters, but he's not my favorite. So I love David Gilmour. But I did get to see Rick Wright and Nick Mason with David Gilmour before they passed away. So this was like in 1986 or something. So it's been a while, but yeah. I like my English bands. Oh, and my alternate would be, of course, Rolling Stones, right? Everybody loves Rolling Stones. But my preference is going to be Beatles and Pink Floyd. Okay. That was a big digression. Yeah. So I'm going to be getting this out and working with this and getting my embroidery chops back together and going. And if it's something that you have been toying with and that you've been interested in wanting to kind of dip your toe in that pond, this is a great way to go. It has everything in it. It's a beautiful kit. You will get a lot of use out of this bag. This is not like a one and done bag. This is an actual project kit or a project bag. So I love it. It'll keep everything corralled for a project while you're in the middle of it. And that's, you know, super helpful. So, okay, that's today's video. This is a definite win. And I hope for the folks out there who feel like I gloss over stuff, this gives you the detail you're looking for. You know, it's like funny. I either talk too much or I don't talk enough. I don't know. It's very difficult to please both sides of the house. You know, it just is. So, okay, we try to meet in the middle. We try to have that grand compromise that we're all looking for in life. So, okay, that's the video. I would say, like, you know, all the thumbs up that you have. Yes, this is definitely worth it. It's beautiful. It's well made. I think it's a good price. And if you want to try embroidery, this is the way to go. And I can't link to it directly for you. They don't give us direct links. But if you use the other link that I'll have down there for you, it'll be clearly marked. Go through that link. When you get to the search bar, you can type stitch by stitch, and this will come right up for you. Okay, that's our video for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy stitching, everybody.